long's it been, eh?
What?
Since you had a bloke, you know. Hey, what are you doing?
You stay away from me.
Oh, come on, what's the matter? Those prison shielders turned you the other way.
Don't you come any closer.
Oh, no, you won't, Doreen. You're going to be nice for Vince. And if you start biting or kicking or scratching or anything like that, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have a word in the right little shell pink. And you know what'll happen? You'll get taken off this job. Back to Wentworth. And how long did you say they could keep you in solitary?
Here we go again. Every night they search us, and every night they come up with the same thing, a big fat nothing.
It's regulations, Bryant. You know that.
Bryant?
This could be my lucky day.
Shut up, Bryant, and come and stand here.
Oh, Miss Bennett, a little higher and to the left, please.
Another remark like that. And you won't need to be searched again because you won't be going out to the factory.
Sorry.
Mrs. Jackson?
Yes?
Would it be all right if I had a shower?
You can have one tomorrow morning.
Can't I have it now? I'll be quick.
You heard Burns. We've got better things to do.
But I really need it, Miss Bennett. I feel dirty.
You always will be. No amount of soap and water will ever get you clean. Now get to the recreation room, both of you. Hurry up.
Honey, what's the matter with you? Why do you want to shower?
Oh, I don't know. I just feel sweaty. Oh, it doesn't matter.
That was a bit unreasonable.
No, you think so, do you? Do you want to do overtime so that Madam there can take her bath?
I'm sure just a simple refusal would have been quite
Meg,
all
I'm
right.
sick of being given extra duty so that the Doreen Burnses of this world can go on stupid schemes to rehabilitate themselves. 2 weeks after their release, they're back inside again, so what's the point?
I'll go and unlock the gates for them.
Good day, Dor. God, it's good to see you.
Hi, Lizzie.
How things at the factory? I bet you're glad it's the weekend. Much harder work there than in the laundry, eh?
Yeah.
How about you and me having a cup of hands before dinner?
No, I don't feel like it.
Hey. What's the matter, honey?
Me? Oh, nothing. I'm just a bit tired, you know. I'm not used to all the work. How come you don't get tired?
Well, used to long hours, you know. I guess it's all those hours I put in on my butt in the taxi.
Suppose it helps knowing you won't be doing it for long, too, eh?
What do you mean?
Well, you're still planning to break out, aren't you?
Yeah, but not for a while. Thanks to my big soft heart and my big soft head, my escape fund is zero.
Ah, you'll get more money. The factory pays real well.
Yeah, but not in cash. You don't think I can go up to Mrs. Davidson, do you, and ask her for an advance on my wages so I can escape? Besides, I need more money than I could get from that lousy factory.
Why, what are you going to do when you get out?
Skip the country? See, that's why I need more bread. Forged passports don't come cheap.
Yeah, it's a pity we can't get hold of a passport, because I could do one for you for nothing. See, I got pinched for forgery a couple of times. Nothing fancy, you know. Just signatures. But the weasel thought I had real talent. Hey, that's a bloke you ought to go and see.
Who?
The weasel. I never knew his real name. He was a mate of a friend of mine. He was into all that sort of stuff, you know, legal papers, passports. He was expensive, though.
Where would I find him?
Oh, I used to live in Fitzroy. I can't remember the name of the street, but you'd only have to ask. Everybody knew the weasel. Gonna live with your folks in the States?
Don't you think I'm a bit old to go running home to Daddy? Especially since they threw me out in the first place.
Well, where will you go?
Singapore. I got a friend there. I'm going to look her up.
Oh, you'll be lucky.
No. I'll be prepared. You see, I'm not going off half-cocked. And when I go, I'm going for good.
So there was this drunk, you see, and he opened the taxi door and he rolled across the seat at the back and out the door onto his back on the road, and he looked up and he said to the taxi driver, "Thanks, mate. How much do I owe you?"
See, Sounds like something you'd do, Lizzie.
Good, Dor. What's up with you? You've been as quiet as anything since you got back from work.
Nothing, Lizzie, honest.
Well, if that's nothing, I'd hate to see you when it was something. Don't you like working at the factory?
No, not much.
Oh, good. I wish it was me. I'd give anything to get out of this joint for a while.
Oh, it's not much better there. You're locked up in the workroom all day, and even if you want to go to the loo, one of the screws has to go with you.
Yeah. So I don't suppose it would have mattered if Ked had got a job there. You probably wouldn't have seen more of him.
No.
Still, the money's good.
Yeah. But I don't need it. Oh, I'm sick of it, Lizzie. I don't see that it's fair that I get to go and I can't stand the place and you and B are dying to go.
You're not going to give it away, are you?
Yeah, I reckon I am, Lizzie. I'll go and see Davo in the morning.
You're mad.
Maybe.
Anyway, tomorrow's Saturday, so Davo probably won't be here.
Yeah, well, I'll go and see her on Monday then.
Oh, you'll have changed your mind by then.
No, I won't.
I'm going to have a word in the right little shell pink.
No way.
G'day, g'day.
Hi there.
Well, how did it go today? They did accept you back, didn't they?
Yeah.
But?
Well, they said I'd missed out too much time to pick up where I left off. If I went back, I'd have to pick up the whole year all over again.
Oh. So, what did you tell them?
That I wanted to speak to you about it first.
Mm-hmm. And if you don't go back, what are you going to do?
Get a job?
Not that easy in this day and age.
Yeah, I know, Dad, but I just can't face another year at Tech.
Well, whatever you decide, I'm with you all the way.
Thanks, Dad.
Oh, and since one favour deserves another, I should have mentioned this to you before, but Meg Jackson's invited us over for dinner tonight.
Oh, Dad, I'd rather not.
Look, I think you should. It's about time you started mixing with people again.
I know, but I just don't...
Tony, it would be a favour to me because I've already told Meg that you'd be going.
Oh. Well, okay.
Fine, I'll go and take a shower before you take up residence in the bathroom.
Hi, right on time.
Well, we Reeds don't like to keep a lady waiting.
Hello, Tony. Good to see you again. Come in. Well, sit down. Well, can I get you a drink?
Yeah, I'll have a double scotch.
Yes. And you?
I'll have a triple.
And what sort of a job are you looking for, Tony?
Oh, anything at all. I'm not proud.
No, there's no point rushing into something you're not interested in. It's not as though you're desperate.
Dad, I'm not going to sponge off you. I'll pay my way.
I thought you weren't proud. I'll open that other bottle.
Dad's been terrific since I got back. He can't seem to do enough for me.
Well, I think what happened made him realise a lot of things. It's hard to lose a son, especially if it's partly your fault.
Yeah, I just hope his work isn't suffering for it.
Oh, I shouldn't think so. Why? What makes you say that?
Oh, no, I suppose I feel guilty about causing him so much trouble.
Tony, your father wants to help you all he can.
You're pretty close to him, aren't you?
I wouldn't say that. We're friends, and we've both had problems with our children.
Yeah, Dad told me about your son.
Well, I think he's helped me a lot.
You know, he's not the cold person I thought he was.
Oh, you're not talking about me behind my back, are you?
Some more coffee?
Yes, can I give you a hand?
No, thanks.
Come on, hurry up. Burns, Birdsworth, come come on, hurry up.
Miss Bennett, is Mrs. Davidson in today?
I've no idea. Why?
Well, if she is, can I see her?
Maybe.
It's important.
Oh, later, Burns. I thought you were desperate to have a shower. Now, come on, Birdsworth.
Coming, Miss Bennett. These old bones of mine take a bit of waking up in the mornings.
Well, hurry up. You too, Bryant.
Hey, listen, what did Doreen want to see the governor for?
Oh, I don't know. She's got some stupid idea that she wants to get out of that factory work.
Why?
Fed up with it, I suppose.
No other reason?
Don't know. She didn't say. Never talks. Bloody mad. I'd give me right arm to get work in there.
Erica Davidson?
Mrs. Davidson, this is Andrew Reynolds.
Andrew, it must be 2 whole days.
I realize I'm making an absolute nuisance of myself, but I wanted to strike while the iron was hot.
What do you mean?
You accepted my invitation the other night. You haven't changed your mind, have you?
You're nothing if not persistent.
How about this afternoon?
Oh, come now. I'm going out with you this evening. You can't monopolize me.
Pity. You're busy then.
No.
Then how about the races?
Could you just hold the line a moment, please? Come in.
Oh, Mrs. Davidson, I wasn't sure if you'd be in this afternoon. Doreen Burns has asked to see you. Now, if you don't want
Oh,
to...
no, it's quite all right. I'll talk to her, Miss Bennett. Sorry, Andrew. What were you saying?
Well, no, I didn't finish the engineering course, but I... Yeah, okay, thanks.
Tony, have you seen the morning pep? Oh, you've got it.
Yeah, I take it you don't want the employment pages?
No. Oh, you're on the job nice and early.
Yeah, there's not many worms for this bird to catch, I'm afraid. I've already found about 10 or 12, and they all want qualifications or experience. Suppose I'm going to have to try the unskilled stuff next.
Tony, I meant what I said yesterday. Wait until something you're really interested in turns up. I was prepared to support you through college. I'm prepared to do the same until you find a decent job.
Yeah, thanks, Dad, but no, look, I've got to do something. I can't keep running to you for a couple of bucks every time I want to go to the films or go out for a drink.
Well, look, I'd rather you did that than leap into a whole series of jobs that you'd stick at for a couple of weeks at a time. Prospective employers aren't terribly interested in a record of employment that extends over 2 pages. Remember that.
Yeah, I will. Oh, here's one. Trainee forklift repairman required. Previous experience required. They fooled me that time. Had it in small print. Dad?
Mm-hmm.
You remember when you were working in those remand homes with those kids in Adelaide?
Yeah.
Well, didn't you used to know a few people? I mean, you know, pull a few strings to get them jobs.
Yeah, but that was Adelaide, mate, and they were mostly people I'd gone to school with or people who owed me favours.
So you don't know anyone in Melbourne?
I'm afraid not. Hey, wait a minute. There was a chappie I ran into a few weeks ago. Hadn't seen him for ages. He'd been transferred to Melbourne with his firm. I can't remember the name of the firm, but he invited me to spend a weekend with him at the Edith Vale Country Club in Ballarat. Ballarat's only an hour's drive away, isn't it? So I might just take him up on the offer.
That's great, Dad.
No, don't get your hopes up too high. You might be in ladies' underwear.
Well, it's all right. Lots of engineering goes into making up ladies' brass.
Well, now, Doreen, what was it you wanted to see me about?
Oh, well, you see, it's about the factory. You see, I want out.
You want out?
Yeah.
May I ask why?
Oh, I'm just fed up with it, that's all.
I see. Well, this really is most tiresome of you, Doreen. You've hardly given it a chance, have you?
Well, I was never much good at sewing and stuff like that.
You were chosen in preference to the other women because I thought you would benefit from the outside contact.
Oh, well, you see, that's just it, Mrs. Davidson. You see, I don't reckon it's fair that the others don't get a go, and I don't like it that much, and I reckon if somebody like, well, B was allowed to go, it might help keep her out of trouble.
B. Smith, I might have guessed. This is her idea, isn't it?
Oh, no, Mrs. Davidson, she doesn't know anything about it, honest.
It has all the earmarks of a Smith plot, wouldn't you say, Miss Bennet?
Definitely.
No, it was my idea.
Well, whosever idea it was, Doreen, you can tell Smith that your request has been denied.
What'd she say, Dor?
Oh, no go. She thought I was asking because Bea put me up to it.
Did you tell her I'd stand in for you?
Wouldn't do any good, Lizzie. They won't let you go. You're too old.
Thanks a lot. And you can get out the wrong way, too.
What's wrong with you? Why don't you want to work at the factory? Vince's giving you a hard time.
What made you say that?
Oh, well, you seemed pretty depressed when you came out of the storeroom yesterday. And Kay keeps saying how he fancies you. Has he made a pass at you?
No, he just gives me the creeps.
I might be too old, but I can still do a better day's work than that bludger Nolene.
What's that got to do with it?
Well, she was in here 10 minutes ago boasting how she got on to Paul Reed to put her on the work party. Beats me how she swung it.
Well, I'm sick of it.
Tut! The only way you're going to get out of it is by buggering up the whole scheme. And if you do that, you'll have Bea and most of the rest of them onto you. Not to mention me. Trouble with you young ones these days, you can't stick at anything for more than 5 minutes. It's the truth. Now where's she gone?
I don't know.
Could you open the gate for me, Mrs. Jackson? I want to go to the loo.
Yes, all right.
Thanks.
Doreen! Doreen! What the devil are you doing?
I'm sick of this place. I'm sick of its crummy rules and its crummy work projects and its crummy bloody screws.
What's got into you, Doreen? But whatever it is, you can tell it to Mrs. Davidson. Now move. Oh, Mrs. Davidson, are you going?
Well, I was. I've been invited to the races. Is it urgent?
It's Doreen. She just went berserk in one of the cells, throwing everything everywhere for no apparent reason.
Really? I think I know the reason. Whose cell was it?
Phyllis Hunt's?
Was there much damage?
Oh, I don't think so. She just seemed more intent on messing it up.
All right, Meg, I'll talk to her. Where is she now?
Waiting outside your office.
Am I correct in assuming this little tantrum of yours is a result of our conversation earlier?
I guess so.
I suppose you think if you cause enough trouble, I'll take you off the work party.
Yeah, I suppose.
Well, it just won't work. Even if I did take you off, Bea Smith is the last person I would put in your place.
Bea had nothing to do with it.
So you said.
Well, are you going to put me in the pound?
No, I am not. If I did, I would have to put a report through to the department, and I am not going to do that. You and the rest of the women will just have to realise that we do not organise these things, such as the factory scheme, just to amuse you. It is a very worthwhile project, and I am determined it will have every chance to succeed.
So you're just going to let me off?
Your punishment will be to return that cell to its original state, and then you will be confined to cells until Monday morning.
That stinks.
That is enough. Thank you, Mrs. Jackson.
Come along, Doreen.
Jeez, Mrs. Jackson, a whole weekend locked up in here.
Well, you've only got yourself to blame, Doreen. You're lucky you didn't get solitary.
Only because the department would have stopped the factory project. It's just one big whitewash.
Get in there. I really don't understand you sometimes, Doreen. Meg? Who was that? Doreen. She's confined to cells until Monday.
What for?
Rearranging someone else's cell?
Well, why isn't she in the pound?
Mrs. Davidson doesn't want to put anyone on report who's involved in the factory project.
I bet she doesn't.
Well, what's that supposed to mean?
Vested interest, Meg. I'd say Mrs. Davidson has a great personal interest in keeping that little fiasco going.
Why?
Well, I heard her on the telephone this morning to Andrew Reynolds, and it didn't sound much like a business call.
Vera, you're impossible. You always have to find an ulterior motive for everything.
Well, all right, you don't have to believe me. But scandals like this can't be kept a secret for long.
Hi. Any luck?
No go, I'm afraid. He was transferred to Melbourne to manage a branch office and try and put it into profit for a change. When he arrived, he found that they were grossly overstaffed. He's already retrenched 12 men.
Oh, thanks anyway.
Yeah, he gave me the names of a couple of contacts, but I wouldn't hold out too much hope.
A knockback at every turn.
Hey, come on. It's early days yet.
Yeah, sure.
Well, what have you got planned for tonight?
Nothing.
Okay, why don't you ring up a couple of mates and go out for a drink or something?
No.
Look, I've got some cash if that's all that's worrying.
No, Dad. Look, I can't pay it back.
To go Royal Nemnan by 2 lengths. Dry Ginger down the outside running on fairly, and so is Bunbury.
Well, didn't I say I'd make your fortune?
It was marvellous. 5 wins out of 7 races. You're in the wrong profession, you know.
You know, if you'd been a little more daring, and I might add a little more trusting, you'd be going home in an armoured car by now.
I'll have you know I was brought up to regard gambling as something in which a lady does not indulge. 50 cents each way is the maximum my conscience will allow. Anyway, I won more than you did.
Oh, a tipster never backs his own certainties.
Oh, I've enjoyed myself so much. I can't remember when I last went to the races.
Racing has missed you. There you are, fair lady.
Thank you, sir.
Where to now?
Home, James, and don't spare the horses.
Are you serious?
Of course.
Then you are letting me down.
Over what?
My dinner invitation.
I most certainly am not. You don't expect me to go out to dinner dressed like this, do you?
Oh, why not? You look stunning.
Andrew Reynolds, you amaze me. One must dress for dinner. It's the done thing.
Oh, well, I shall have to get my tuxedo out of mothballs. God knows what they're going to say at the pizza parlour.
Morning.
Well, you sound as if you had a good weekend.
Oh, Colleen Powell invited me round to her place last night and we sat up to all hours playing cards. Oh, it's all right for her. She's on late shift.
Well, you can think yourself lucky you're not on duty at the factory. You'd need matchsticks to keep your eyes open.
Yes, I believe it's pretty boring there. I've been lucky so far.
Yes, so I've noticed from the rosters. But don't worry, Meg, your turn will come. Let's see now. Meg Jackson. Meg Jackson. And, Meg Jackson.
Thanks, friend.
My pleasure.
I've just got a sudden attack of Monday morning blues coming on.
Good morning, Mr. Fletcher. Ladies.
Morning, Mrs. Davidson.
Morning. Davidson.
Oh, that's a very nice dress.
Thank you. Mr. Fletcher, B. Smith is due out of solitary this morning. Would you bring her to my office, please?
Yes, of course.
She's like a lovesick schoolgirl.
What?
Well, you don't think she's wearing that dress for our benefit, do you? My guess is she'll have a visit from Reynolds today.
Oh, give it a rest, Vera. So what if she's going out with him? At least it shows she's human.
Come in.
Smith, Mrs. Davidson.
Good morning, Smith. I won't bother to ask you whether you've learnt anything from being in solitary.
Well, then I won't bother telling you.
Nor will I bother to warn you what will happen if you break regulations again. You seem to be intent on making your life in here as unpleasant as possible.
Yeah, I'm punishing myself for my sins.
Shut up, Smith.
No doubt you've heard about Gail Summers.
Yeah, I heard.
Hers was a particularly unfortunate crime, and one which will be dealt with by the courts and not by you. Do I make myself clear?
Yes, Crystal.
Good. Because I'm sure you wouldn't like what I have planned for you if anything happens to her. You may go. Oh, and Smith, your name is still on the list for the factory detail. But if you want to be in it, it will have to be on your own merits and not by someone dropping out for you.
Paul Reed.
Hi, Dad, it's me.
Ah, Tony, how's the job hunting going?
Yeah, should have seen the crowds at the employment office. It was like grand final week.
Yeah, well, it's always like that on a Monday morning. Did you get through to see somebody?
Yeah, and they gave me a dozen numbers to ring, and everyone's already employed someone.
Oh, never mind, Meg. Something will turn up eventually.
Yeah, well, I've got one to see this afternoon.
Oh, great. What's that?
Dishwasher in a restaurant.
Come on, Tony. You can do better than that, surely.
I know, Dad. Of course I can, but... Well, it's only part-time, in the evenings. I mean, it'll give me some money, and my days will be free to look for something better.
Yeah, well, just make sure it's only temporary, huh?
Yeah, don't worry, I will.
Listen, why don't we have lunch together? My shout.
Sure, where?
Oh, The local, I suppose. Pick you up there by 12:30.
Okay, fine. See you later.
Bye.
Hey, Lizzie, want to flutter on the night trots?
Are you kidding? I haven't got paid for the last lot yet.
I told you. You'll get paid as soon as Kay coughs up at the factory. God, she's in me for $150.
Well, you're not going to get 1 cent out of me till I get what's coming.
Poor old Margot's having a real rough trot because of Kay.
Too bad. About time she got what's coming to her. Bee, you're back! Oh!
All right, come on. This is not a school reunion. Now back to work, all of you.
How are you, honey?
All right, babe.
I've been keeping it warm for you.
Ta.
I'll bet the fur will start flowing now. You're back, eh, Bee? You gonna get Gail? We never spoke to her like you said.
I don't know where you'd got to be without me around to wipe your noses.
We got a new chum working the press. B, this is Gail Summers. Gail, this is B. Gail's in for knocking her kid around.
I don't see anyone.
Yeah, poor little thing. Only 3 he was, covered in big bruises, black and blue all over the poor little thing. You'd think someone would teach her a lesson, wouldn't you?
Then why don't you do it, Nolan?
Oh, yeah, sure, and then I'd finish up in the pound for you. I'm not doing your dirty work.
Then go and boil your head.
What's that, B? Going soft? Being in the pound too long made you go troppo, eh?
Oh, shut your trap, Nolan.
You shut yours. I'm talking to B.
You're not working in here, so shove off.
You little bitch!
Nolan, don't! Will you
Hey, come on, break it up. Get up there. Get up, Burke. What's this all about? Get on your feet, Burke. What's it all about?
She started it.
All right, come on, both of you outside and let the governor sort this out. The rest of you, get back to work. Now, come on, move.
I don't know how many times you women have been warned about brawling.
It was her. She just come up and started shoving me around.
Is that true, Doreen?
Yes.
Well, knowing you, Burke, there was obviously some considerable provocation.
No way. I was just standing there talking to B and she come up and shoved me over. I was just defending myself.
Mr. Fletcher?
I'm afraid I can't say. It was the noise of the fight that attracted me. I don't know what caused it.
Well, Burke, as Doreen corroborates your story, you'll be let off with a warning.
Thanks, Mr. Davidson.
But just remember, you have the privilege of working on the factory scheme at the moment. That privilege can easily be revoked.
Yeah, okay. Thanks.
Mr. Fletcher, would you take Burke back to her duties and then return for Doreen after I've had a word with her? Doreen, what is the problem?
Hey?
Well, you obviously have a problem and I'd like to help you with it. Why are you so determined to get off the work party?
I'm just sick of it, that's all.
Is there something bothering you? One of the other workers?
No.
That's B. Smith, isn't it? She wants to get onto the scheme and is pressuring you to get off it.
No, honest, Mrs. Davidson, it's me. I just can't handle it, that's all.
I find that hard to believe, Doreen. I could understand it if this were your first time out. But you were on parole for 5 months. If you were going to crack up, you would have done so then. Well, if you won't let me help you...
What am I going to cop for fighting with Nolene?
As you picked the fight with the intention of being removed from the working party, your punishment will be to remain on it.
G'day, Tone. Heard you inside, mate.
Yeah, g'day, Spike. What are you doing these days, eh?
Ah, just hanging around waiting for the next doll check to show. Listen, this is me mate, Heron.
G'day. Yeah.
What's with the threads, anyway?
Oh, I've been out looking for a job.
Yeah, best of luck, mate. I stuffed around for about 3 months before I knew what was going on. Just sit back and wait for the dough to come in.
Well, so you didn't go back to tech?
You're kidding, aren't you? Slave your guts out for 3 years for what? To be a doll bludger with a degree? Come on, there's no work around, mate, believe me.
If you're willing to work somebody to give you a job.
Sure, you can pick fruit or sell encyclopedias or something, but where's the sense in that? I mean, you do a bloody hard day's yakka for what, a few bob more than the doll? Come on, man, I've been there. No way.
It's great to see you again anyway, Spike. I'll let you know about the party, eh?
Oh, no, don't worry. Listen, just bring along some grog and some dope and you're in. You can bring a chick if you like, but there'll be plenty there, so don't worry.
See you later.
Oh, who are your friends?
G'day, Dad. Oh, it's Spike. He used to get at Tech. He left about a year ago. Haven't seen him for ages. So what's wrong?
Nothing.
Just, you think they were a couple of crims I met at the farm or something?
Look, I didn't think that at all,
But just
Tony.
because they looked a bit wild. Whatever happened to the Reed hatred of prejudice, eh?
All right, I'm sorry. I apologise. Let's not spoil the lunch, huh? Tell you what, when we've had lunch, I'll get you to drop me back at the factory and you can have the ute for the rest of the day, okay?
Okay, thanks.
I bet Doreen got solitary. Silly little twit. Now, I still don't understand why she did it. I reckon she's still trying to wag it from the factory.
Why doesn't she just report sick then?
Beats me.
What's the matter, love? You've been confined to cells.
Come on, love, you can tell us.
There's nothing to tell. Davo let me off.
Let you off? Is that why you're moping around in here?
No, I just don't want to go back to the laundry, that's all.
What did Davo say about the factory? Did you get off? Is that why you're upset?
Oh, just leave me alone, will you?
Okay, come on, it's none of our business. You know where to find us if you need someone to talk to, love.
Why'd you leave her then? Because she obviously doesn't want us to know what's wrong for her own reasons. Now leave her alone. She'll come round when she wants someone to talk to.
It's Vince, isn't it?
How did you know?
Oh, I just had to put two and two together. Did he attack you?
He said he'd tell Mr. Reynolds I'd been pinching stuff and that I'd get at least another 6 months and he'd have the work scheme stopped.
Bastard. Why didn't you report him?
Well, who to? Who's going to believe me? And he said he'd get me if I told. And Kevin won't wait for me if I get another 6 months.
Oh, honey, of course he will. Look, you've got to tell him. He'll understand.
No. Kevin must never know, not ever. Oh, please, Judy, don't say anything to anybody, please.
Okay. But something's got to be done about him. I mean, now that he's tried it once, he's got you over a barrel.
I know. That's why I'm scared stiff about going back there tomorrow.
There you go, Dad. Thanks for lunch.
No worries. Listen, look after the bus, would you? It's still on loan to the department.
Sure. What time do you want to be picked up?
Oh, don't worry about that. I'll make my own way home.
Sure.
Yeah, you just do what you have to do, huh?
Thanks.
Yeah. There's $10 in the glove box. For parking, that sort of stuff.
Thanks, Dad.
Afternoon. Yes, isn't it?
Hello, Tony.
Oh, hi,
How's
Meg.
things?
Fine, I suppose, for an unemployed pauper.
You're a pauper driving around in this?
Meg, look, I'm sorry about the other night. I must have raved on a bit, but I was a bit drunk.
Forget it. As far as I'm concerned, if you want to rave on, you're welcome to do it at my place anytime.
Really?
Really.
Well, thanks. I really appreciate that.
Good. Well, I'd better be off.
See you later.
So you've lost your wheels for the day?
Yeah, well, Tony's need is greater than mine.
He really is a very nice young man, Paul.
Yes, I know. But I'm a bit worried about him being at a loose end and perhaps falling in with the wrong kind of company.
Come in. Oh, Mr. Reynolds is here, Mrs. Davidson. He said he had to see you.
Oh, show him in, please, Miss Bennett.
Mr. Reynolds.
Thank you. Hello, Mrs. Davidson. I've brought along last week's work reports.
Oh, thank you, Miss Bennett. There is such a thing as a postal service, you know.
Yes, I know, but I wanted you to receive it before next year. Besides, it gives me an excuse to see you.
Oh, for what purpose?
To extend yet another dinner invitation.
Another. This is becoming a habit.
Well, to avoid addiction, simply say no.
No.
Oh, thank you. I shall now go and inconspicuously commit harakiri.
Well, we can't have that, can we? When is the invitation?
Tonight, if you've nothing arranged.
Nothing I can't postpone. And as I had such a delightful time last Saturday, how could I possibly refuse?
So put these in now, B?
You gotta be joking. 2 minutes before knock-off time.
Oh, I didn't realise it was so late.
Yeah. It's good having a few extra hands around. We haven't done so much work for ages.
Yeah, well, tomorrow we slack off a bit. Otherwise, they'll expect us to do this much work every day. That's money you're flashing around, Margot. You owe me a few, Bob.
Can I give it to you tomorrow, B? I've had a bit of an unlucky day.
Don't tell me someone broke the bank.
Yeah, that piker at the factory.
What's this?
Oh, just one of the women there owes me a few bucks. I'll get it back.
From Bets?
No, I'll lend it to her.
That's not what you told me.
Listen, Margot, if you want to risk your neck running a book, that's your funeral, but you do anything to upset this work program and I'll take those short odds of yours and cram them down your ever-loving throat.
Yeah, no worries. I'll get it back.
Well, you better, because no one stops that work party from getting out of here. Just a minute. Tony!
Hi. I was wondering if you'd mind listening to me rave on for a while. Sorry if I've been crying on your shoulder, Mick.
That's okay. Sometimes it helps to talk to an outsider, even without asking for advice.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but I'm afraid Dad doesn't quite agree with all that. He thinks all family matters should stay at home.
Don't worry, I won't tell him.
You know, sometimes I think that I feel like I've just let everyone down. Dad, Mum, even the social worker at the prison farm. I mean, that job I went for this afternoon, a lousy dishwasher, and I couldn't even get that.
Don't worry, you'll get something better.
It wasn't the point. I didn't really want the job. I just wanted to get it, to be actually told that I was hired. Then I'd probably told them to stick it anyway.
Did you tell them about the farm?
Well, I had to tell them what I was doing for the last 2 months.
Well, if it's just a temporary job you're after, wouldn't it be better to work under a false name?
You mean lie to them?
Well, many ex-prisoners have to do it to survive.
You know, I'm beginning to think it's that old story about not being what you know, but who you know. Anyway, look, I better get going. Thanks for listening, Meg.
It's all right. I'm sorry I couldn't have been more helpful.
No, really, you have been. I mean, well, Dad's great, but you're right, it is easy to talk to an outsider.
Toddy! You there, mate?
Struth. Can you smell something, B?
Yeah, it smells like a baby basher who hasn't washed her hands.
You reckon you ought to wash them for her, B?
Yeah, I will. When I'm ready. Which won't be for quite some time on account of Dave. Practically told me I'd go on that work program if I keep my nose clean. And I'm not going to bugger up my chances with the likes of her. Oh, Struth, we must be downwind of the sewer tonight.
Hey, can I butt a fag off you, girl?
No, go away.
Geez, I thought we was friends.
Friends? After what you did?
Hey, you're still alive, aren't you? Bloody gutless bee won't lay a finger on you.
Just leave me alone, will you?
Well, what are you staring at, lame brain?
Get lost, Nolan.
Gonna make me like you done before?
Listen, Nolene. If you don't get out of here, you're going to end up with 2 black eyes that are going to make you look like the Lone Ranger.
All right, you lot, come on, back to the cells.
Hey, Doreen, keep an eye on Burke for me tomorrow, will you?
Yeah, okay.
Let me know if she does anything to muck up that work program. You got to remember, she's not too bright. You know, when she was at school, she even failed plasticine and sandpit.
Oh, one of these days, Smith.
Oh, look at me, I'm trembling with fear.
Yeah, well, I'll be thinking of you tomorrow when I'm working at the factory.
You work? Oh.
Come on, kid. You just let tomorrow look after itself, huh? I'll look after you.
Yeah, thanks, Jude. But don't make a big thing of it, because I don't want any of the others finding out, especially Nolene.
No, you'll be all right. Come on.
This is excellent.
It's funny. I wouldn't have taken you for a port drinker.
I learned to appreciate it from my father. He was a great connoisseur of good port.
Really? Yet another facet of the late Mr. Justice Mahon.
How did you know who he was?
Patient research and a mutual friend.
So you've been checking up on me, have you?
Guilty, Your Honor.
And what other dark secrets have you unearthed?
Only that your mother is a mild hypochondriac who lives in a large house in the country.
You haven't mentioned my highly successful brother, who's a member of Parliament.
You haven't mentioned your husband.
Does it matter?
It might.
Michael and I have been divorced for years.
You never thought of remarrying?
I've never met the right man, and I am a career woman. What about you?
Oh, I lead the gay bachelor life, unencumbered by care and responsibility. No, I can't lie to you, Erica. I am married.
Children?
2. But they're hardly children any longer. I'm sorry.
For what?
I didn't mean to keep it a secret. It doesn't have to interfere with our relationship, does it?
I wasn't aware we were having a relationship. I've devoted many years to my job, Andrew. I don't want to put myself in an awkward position by getting involved in any sordidness.
But there is none. I mean, look, Julie and I haven't had what you would call a real marriage for
Please.
years.
You and I have had a very pleasant business dinner this evening. Let us just leave it that way.
Well, if that's the way you want it.
No, it isn't. But under the circumstances, I think it's better that way. Would you mind taking me home now?
No, of course.
Good morning, Mr. Reynolds. We've got a new worker for you today, Nolene Burke.
Well, thank God for that. This second consignment must be out by this afternoon.
Hey, chin up. Don't you let that bastard see you're upset.
Ladies, could I have your attention for just a moment, please? Now, this second consignment must be completed by this afternoon, so I do seek your cooperation in getting it through in time. I need hardly add that should I lose this contract, you will all lose your jobs. So please, let's make every effort to get it done on time, shall we?
Sure. For an extra $40 a week, we'll sweep the floor for you as well.
Now, I know you're all anxious to help, so let's take our places and get started, shall we?
Hey, boss.
Yes?
What do you want me to do?
Well, join that lady over there.
She's falling apart, is she? Gee, he's a barrel of laughs, isn't he?
It's not usually that cranky. Perhaps he's got a hangover.
Maybe he isn't getting any.
Oh, Mr. Reynolds,
Yes?
is Miss White in today?
Yes, she's in the building somewhere, working, which is more than I can say for you.
Is that the bird that owes you?
Yeah. Just wait till she shows her face.
I wonder where he is.
Maybe taking a sickie.
Yeah. Oh. Oh, bugger.
Morning, Doreen. How are you today?
Paul, what are you doing here?
Sorry to bother you so early, Meg, but I don't suppose Tony's been in touch with you, has he?
Well, yes, he was here last night.
What for? I mean, what did he want?
Oh, I think he just needed someone to talk to, someone not quite so closely involved with his problems.
When did he leave?
About 8, I suppose. Well, Paul, what's all this about?
His bed hadn't been slept in. Some of his clothes have gone. I know I shouldn't be worrying about him, but damn it all, I am.